Alright, so I'm recording this because Riverside County Superior Court is putting me through some fuckery. I'm basically undergoing a type of systematic oppression that's being carried out pretty much through that whole county. Um, but let's focus on Riverside Superior Court for a second. So basically, what's going on with me is I'm being basically stalked and harassed by an arm of the United States government. I think I know where all the planning and everything is going on for the harassment. It's coming from the Fusion Center, particularly the Fusion Center in Norwalk, California. Called the JRIC also. They have a website, jric.org. In any case, basically this persecution has come from there because my whole case is because I basically pepper sprayed some guy, okay? I pepper sprayed some guy because I thought he was one of the stalkers and harassers. And he is. His whole story doesn't make any sense. And if my attorney is telling the truth, which half the time it doesn't look like she is, someone even made a comment to me when I told them some of the things that she did. Like, she lied to me. She lied to me about vacating my trial before I actually agreed to it. So either she or someone on their fucking team did that. Don't really know, but it was definitely vacated because I was talking to her on the phone about it. Anyways, I don't mean to rant. There's a whole bunch of other bullshit that's going on. But basically, these guys are dragging me through the mud with this court case. This court case isn't legitimate. From his witness statement and like my video, it looks like he was kind of like being really aggressive with me, which his whole thing for being in that parking lot was he was FaceTiming with his girlfriend, um, and apparently he was smoking pot too. So I smelled the pot. I don't know if he mentioned that in his witness statement, but I smelled the pot when he pulled up next to me. As for his girlfriend or whoever the hell he was on the phone with, I never heard him the whole time. It was a pretty quiet parking lot. Never heard him the whole time. He was there. He was there 15 to 20 minutes, but his whole thing was he was on his lunch break, blah 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 blah, etc. The place that he actually works out at the Petco station in Mariloma / Drupa Valley. Um, it's not too far up the street, but still a ways, you know? So it's like, I don't know, man, why did you choose to come into the parking lot that I'm in order to be where I am? You know what I mean? There's just so many things going on with this case, but that's not the important thing that I'm trying to tell you right now. The important thing that I'm trying to tell you is that these people have been screwing me over. They plan to screw me over again. These fruitcakes have now trailed my trial. If you don't know what that basically means, basically they extended the trial date out even more. They've actually done this before in different ways, like have me do a competency hearing. Strangely enough, after I produced a document that literally I have in this document, I have like, where does this come from? Who's doing it? I even have some names of the leadership of the Fusion Center. Now, do I know that they're specifically ordering it? No, somebody should do an investigation, but clearly something's going on, and clearly nobody's going to do anything about it, okay? The reason is because they are in on it. It sounds totally nuts. I know, it sounds totally nuts. But considering how corrupt Riverside County is from their CPS, I've heard things about their CPS. Somebody posted a video about how they were doing satanic ritual abuse against kids in CPS. Some guy went up to the freaking county council and like, hey, I know we're always losing money. It's because of the pedophiles, you know. And their fucking sheriff's department, one way or another, that county is always in the news for some dumb shit every other week. Just recently seems like every other day. Maybe it's just because I'm looking too hard, but you know, stuff pops up in my newsfeed all the time. What was the last thing? Oh yeah, some dude died in their prison again after they got investigated for dudes dying in their prison. So now they're being investigated again. This time they're not being investigated by California Attorney General. They're being investigated by some grand jury. I guess it's like some. I'm not really sure what that is. I gotta look into more about what it does. But like, they're under investigation again for the same thing. This time a different organization. I mean, they're just so corrupt. There's just such garbage. And right now, what I'm basically accusing this organization of, who I think Mr. The guy, let me not mention his name yet, but the guy who is supposedly the plaintiff, but he's really more like the defendant in the case. I think he has connections with this organization because I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. The whole thing doesn't even make sense. Like, this fool, like, rolled up into the parking lot, started smoking weed with his windows down. I don't know, parked over like two or three different parking spaces. Okay, the whole thing just seems attention seeking. That's literally what what they do. A part of their like harassment campaign is like they'll send people to interject themselves into your lives or whatever, or to talk to you, or to follow you places. Dude, I've literally had people follow me to the bathroom, bro. That's pretty freaking gross. In any case, like I said, my attorney lied to me. She's done it, from my count now, more than 3 or 4 times. It's just totally ridiculous. Before I even came to court, I already knew that they were going to find some way to drag this out again. And one of the reasons is because they are afraid of my document. Because here's the thing. On top of everything else that's in that document, that basically they're saying is not admissible, and the reason why it's not admissible is because it has nothing to do with him. There's no clear connection, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, okay, there's a clear connection with me and that document. And here's why. Because this is happening to me in my life. And in that document, I literally have a picture of a Facebook group that says gang stalking in Riverside County. Not only that, in the other places in other counties that are under the jurisdiction of this fusion center, I have literally found claims of people like, I think one of the other places were Santa Barbara. Literally some guy on Facebook is claiming some like, I guess some organization under the sheriff's department, Santa Barbara Foot Patrol, I think it's called. He did not really want to report what was going on with him because he literally said something akin to, oh, fear of being stalked by gangs kept me from, speaking out or whatever. I forgot exactly what he said, but that's also in my document too. So that, this is kind of weird. It kind of levels things to my side and makes it look like, oh, there is something going on here. There is some sort of systematic persecution. But they have told me that that document is not admissible. That is fine. I am still gonna speak on what is in that document because I don't understand why it's not admissible when these things have happened to me. I mean, for God's sakes, in Riverside, okay? And here's how this whole thing is. The Fusion Center is a co-op between federal, state, local, and even the military forces. Okay? They do it that way to sort of get around FOIA and Records Request Acts because last time I looked, the military isn't supposed to be involved in civilian affairs. We have our local, state, and federal law enforcement for that. Why the fuck are they? And that's where I'm saying that this persecution is coming from. It's coming from the military because I am a naval whistleblower. Okay? Excuse me. I have my video game on. Anyways, so yeah, man, that's what's going on with me. That's how far this persecution has reached. That's where it's coming from. And these fruitcakes are going to try and send me up the river because I maced their homeboy because he was doing something that he shouldn't have. So the ultimate reason why I'm recording this video is because in the past I have been right about their actions. I recorded a previous video because I was supposed to be in court as soon as July, I think 10th. My new attorney, because they've given me so many attorneys, is not ready. Figure that. The DA's, the last reason why they trailed my case is because the DA wasn't ready. It's been over 2 fucking years. Why are you guys not ready? Anyways, I feel like they're gonna do some dumbass shit like this again tomorrow. The smart thing now, since they want to avoid the document, would be to just figure out a way to just drop the whole thing. But because they're a bunch of evil assholes, they literally want to waste my time with this nonsense. So, here's where I think this is going to go. Okay, because they don't really have enough to say that I did this. I'm not saying I didn't do this. I did do it. Okay, it was me. But there's a third area to the law where number 3, they have to prove that you kind of did it for criminal intent. They're gonna have a weird time proving that I did this in with criminal intent, considering number one, you know, why would I? There's literally a video. I took the video. These fusion center nut jobs have been hacking my communications, so I don't even think the video that I have and that I sent to her, the current attorney, you can't really see the entire video, but you can see the later half of it, and the later half of it shows me, like, okay, say like, whoa, you're smoking weed, bro, what are you doing, blah 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 blah. And then, like, you know, I don't know, man. The whole thing doesn't make any sense. Like, why are you going to come over to me and talk to me when you've been smoking weed and supposedly FaceTiming your girlfriend? If I were him, I would just go back to what I was doing, okay? You know, but no, he made an effort to come over to me. Anyways, when supposedly that's what he was doing. Anyways, here's what I think they're going to do. Because they've been trying this the same thing throughout this whole thing. Is to basically try to say that I'm crazy. Try to basically say that this is not possible. This is not happening. The reason why they don't want me, literally, not the judge, my lawyer told me that document is not admissible because it has nothing to do with the case. How does it not? So they're afraid of that document. They've been afraid of it for a while. They literally try to have me, what do you call it? Psychologically, they sent me to competency to have me do a competency thing to see if, like, I'm sane enough to stand trial. I got over that, even though there was some issues with that. More on that later. But anyways, how this thing is going to go is they probably don't have enough to say, like, oh, hey, without a shadow of a doubt, he did it, he had criminal intent, blah 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 blah, all that crap. So they're going to try and twist this shit and be basically like, oh, he's crazy. And even though I should be totally let, you know, scot-free,